Hi everyone and happy Wednesday. So, if you are new to this channel, welcome. My name is Val and this is a Lightheart Tarot. And if you are a subscriber, welcome back and thank you so much for your company. I really appreciate it. So, if you recall from my last reading, messages from your deceased loved one, I had made a comment that I think this is the path that this channel is going in for a little bit, as it seems that because of the platform and because of the accessibility, that it's becoming easier for those who have crossed over to come and connect with their loved ones here in the physical. And it's interesting because I've been asking for confirmation, is this the right path for me to go down for right now? And I've been receiving so many emails to my website, also just a few comments on here, just how the messages just made their way and found their way to their person. And it's just so, it warms my heart to hear that, especially for myself when through life, when I was looking for those messages, looking for comfort, looking for clarity, and when I would receive that, it just brought such a warmness to me. So when I hear you all mentioning that, it just brings a warmness to me again, because I know that this works. And so thank you so much for being a part of this community, and thank you so much for trusting me, and to Spirit for trusting me for sharing these messages. For those who are looking, who still want the love and the life purpose and career readings, if you send me a comment in the message, if you put a comment below the video, I will connect you to one of my Facebook groups, because I'm still doing the readings there, and I do those daily. So let's get into this reading. So here's the background information for this. So in my other life, I sound like Clark Kent. I am a marketer and I own a marketing company. And so on one side of the room is this. On the other side of my office is my marketing stuff. And so I was working this morning and just the cutest face just was sitting next to me, and her hand, her head was on her hand and just looking at me and just like so sweet. And probably, I want to say she was in her, maybe in her early to mid 20s. And I asked her what her name, and she says, my name is Emily. And she asked, well, may I have a reading done? And I said, sure, but I need, if you wouldn't mind waiting until I am done with part one of my life, then I would be more than happy to do a reading for you. And she said, fine. And sure enough, Miss Emily sat there the whole time. Her energy was in the house, just kind of walking around. I have a bunch of flowers, especially during this time during the pandemic. I've been just adorning the house with bright pink flowers, just to keep me and my spirits up. And so, so she was just walking around, enjoying flowers, looking out at the view and things like that. Then I just started pulling out cards and started shuffling. So here is the story. I also, when I did this reading, and just as a FYI, I have stopped doing pick a card messages from Spirit, because I realized that sometimes if you're picking a card and if your person was in another pile, you may not listen to the other message, just because you may have thought that that pile wasn't for you. And so what I had asked Spirit to work with me on, and they, so far it seemed to work with the last reading, is we're going to do one message, and usually it may be sparked by one person. However, if there are other entities or energies that have the same thread and life through line, so they may share the same characteristics, they may share certain attributes or life lessons, then if it fits for them, they will come in and we will figure it out with the initials, and figure it out as well with the energy that I pick up. So now let's get back to the reading. So I did the initials, and here are the letters that have come out. E, M, Y. So that would confirm Emily for me. And then Q, T. Haha. So I love how these things work out sometimes. Emmy Cutie, which is funny because as I was saying earlier, when I looked at her, I kept saying, oh, she's so cute, and so sweet. So I think this is a double entendre. So the Emily Cutie, but I also do think that these are two initials for two other entities. So it can either be the first name is a Q or a T, or vice versa, or however you want to put it. I also feel there is a an M. But however this resonates for you, please take it as your intuition tells you. But here is what we have. And just so you know, when I pull out tarot and oracle cards, they are here to tell me a story. They're not here for me to read as a tarot reading, with the exception of if I'm being led by Spirit. So what I'm seeing here is, again, the energy for the young woman that I saw earlier today, very prevalent in this reading. What I'm feeling especially is this really beautiful spirit. And this may have been why she was drawn to the flowers. And so we have this beautiful spirit who's connected to nature, grounded. I'm kind of feeling like Snow White. So meaning this purity, this innocence, very, when I say childlike, I don't mean that she acted like a child. I just mean there's just something very sweet and very soft about her. What I'm also seeing through our cards here, we have someone who is very athletic, someone who was loved by friends and family, someone who was very connected with themselves, very grounded, had a free spirit. So here we see this with this image, with, and also with just moving with the flow of life. So this wasn't a person who was very uptight or angry all the time. This was a person who was just so lovely, so calm, and just like had that way of just being in her creativity and being just again a pure heart. So what I'm seeing here is when I think about this energy and what she may have been like in school, this was the person who would have been the class editor for their yearbook or for their newspaper. This would have been someone who would have also have been a really good student academically, someone who may have even have been considered for prom queen, or cheerleader. This was someone who everyone loved and everyone just wanted to be around. She had an infectious spirit. She had this charismatic personality about her that people just wanted to be around her. Here we have the Empress. The Empress is this figure who embodies all of the queens. So very beautiful, emotional, intellectual, creative, and then just also just intellectual. And I think I said that already, but we have that confirmed by the King of Cups, the King of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. But even as you can see here, this is someone who was just confident, someone who was just very much in their light. I'm picking up another energy as well, but as soon as I just want to describe Emily first, and then I will move towards the second energy. This was a person I'm feeling was a star. And when I say star, I don't mean like star celebrity. I'm talking about this was the star in everyone's eye. So someone that just brought a lot of light, that brought a lot of love, that brought a lot of laughter, and that was able to just live life free, be just one with herself, and she was comfortable in her own skin, being by herself, but she loved the energy of having her friends around her. I am also seeing with Emily, she is the oldest of, I'm feeling of threes. And the only reason why, even though I know I see this child here on the other side, because we have the Three of Wands, we have the Three of Cups, we have the three here also of the Empress. There's just a lot of three energy here, and it's just it's making me feel that she was the oldest of three. I'm also picking up that this was someone of Celtic heritage, although I don't feel like she's ever been over there into Europe. Although this was someone who had who loved to travel, and I'm seeing road trips with the family. I'm seeing actually trips of her sitting in the front seat in the car with her mom singing Sweet Caroline. And so this was someone who was just like who was just the young woman that people looked up to, people wanted to be, and people just felt good around. Although at the same time, we have people who may have held jealousy towards her. And because this was someone who was very much into wanting to please other people, sometimes she did feel that binding through negative thoughts and wanting to make sure that she was living up to like her image was always, being upheld, and she was living up to a higher image. I picked up the Atlantis card only as another confirmation of this was someone who loved water. And we have images here of water again. And so someone who just loved nature, loved water, loved her friends, loved her family, someone who was very creative and very much into persevering and just being and doing the right thing in life. And again, I'm just seeing that here, just with these two images, grounded, connecting, emotional, in their emotions, and grounded in their emotions, and just, love to travel. So, When I usually get this card, this is a confirmation along with the sigh, is a confirmation that the passing was quick. So I do not know if this was a passing because of health or what the cause of it was, but whatever it was a quick passing. I just want to bring up again the threes. So yeah, so she was definitely part of a family of three. So let's just quickly see before I go into the second energy what messages that Emily wants to share. Okay. Messages to this one. And we're going to take you out. Believe in yourself, you can do it. And I was met by so many loving people. So I'm feeling here, and as I'm now looking at these two cards, I'm feeling this was someone when she crossed over was met by just loving family, was met by the grandparents, met by just other people, older family members, and she didn't die alone. So I am also feeling that the believe in yourself, you can do it, is for one of the younger siblings. And so something may be going on in which, because I get a sense that this didn't happen that long ago, and so these siblings are not like grown adults, and so there may be I'm hearing the word school. So with schooling, studying, with a scholarship, schooling, studying, that she's giving the message, just believe in yourself. It's going to work out. And it may be the middle of the brother. But are there any other messages that she wants to give? If I had only known then what I know now, I would have lived differently. And just so you know, this message doesn't necessarily mean that she did any, that Emily has any regrets in life of what her life looked like. But it just also means that maybe that there were paths that she would have taken, things that she would have done, maybe missed opportunities that she would have loved to have taken advantage of, instead of pretty much like choosing another path. So let's see what messages does Emily want to tell? Interesting. Okay, let me pull out the cards first, and then I will explain. So, the first one, which is the elephant in the room that I want to call out, is this blank one. So there are, when I got these cards, there were 2 blank cards in it, and at first I was thinking, well, I think that they were just placeholder cards. And then I kept getting from Spirit, it's write your own story. And so I started including them into my readings. And it's interesting because these blank cards do not come up as many times as I've done these readings. So it's interesting when it came up just now. especially when you have the belief in yourself, you can do it. So this, to me, is feeling like a message to write your own story, as well as if I had known then what I know now, I would have lived differently. So living life by your terms. So not worrying about what other people may be thinking about you or trying to live up to expectations of other people. Just living life by your own terms and writing your own story. And so I feel like that's what this card especially is saying. Next one is, many of my favorite memories are with you. Your creativity is inspiring. I admire your way with words. So this could be someone who is a poet. There could be someone who is a writer. And she's acknowledging just that work that is being done. I will never forget you. You've helped me feel more optimistic about my future. Thank you. And in this card here just is so you're probably thinking, well, what do you mean by my future? Because she's not here. And so just because an energy is not here in the physical doesn't mean that they're doing other things. So on the other side, just as we're here learning our lessons and we're going to work and we're going to school, we have friendships and relationships. On the other side, they're also doing that. They're learning more about themselves. They are learning about how lessons or decisions that they made in past life, how they are affecting other people, or how it will affect the next life. So things that you two may have done together, lessons, karmic actions, she's bringing all of that information, all those learnings, and she's going to bring it into her next lifetime. So this is almost like a soulmate connection. And just so you know, soulmates can also be parents, friends, siblings, friends, anyone. It means that you're in the same group and you're put into someone's life to help them grow, to evolve, to understand the depths of who they are, and to reach their highest level of awareness about themselves. You brighten the day of those around you, and I admire your integrity. So the last ones that I want to pull are your love messages, and then maybe we'll do a couple of spirit messages. And so, are there any messages here? These cards are very slippery. Here. Those you love you. And I'm just, to be beautiful in the eyes of another, simply forget they're watching. Tally ho, the universe. As I'm looking at this card, I'm just feeling just the colors, these pinks, the blues. It also goes with this card here, someone who just loves flowers, loves life, loves things that are beautiful, but just also just loves just, it's peaceful. Everything is just calm. And everything flows the way it needs to flow. And so if you are the viewer right now and you have been feeling like you needed a love pick-me-up, then here's your love pick-me-up. So she loves you. And other people love you too. So don't ever forget that. Okay, we'll do one more. You glow, we beam. Thanks. In case anyone should ask, your heart isn't so large because of your wings. It's your wings that are so large because of your heart. Sometimes loving so much can be pretty heavy. Thanks for all that you shared. P.S. is just another one of those nutty body algorithm things. But this is, again, like just another Like you also bring a lot of light into the world and into just people's lives. And I think there may be feelings sometimes of also, because I'm just feeling from the message behind, of wanting to do the right thing, wanting to make sure that everyone's happy. And I think this is a message for you that's just saying, you know what? Write your own story and don't worry about what other people are thinking or saying. You are beautiful. You are an angel. You are a free spirit. You are creative. You are lovely. You're beautiful. You're talented. You are all of these things. And so be you. Be your authentic you. And everything will be fine. Everyone has value. Thoughts create your reality. So again, that goes back to the thoughts that we may sometimes be concerned about from others. It creates that world around us. And so if we're always worried and concerned about what other people are feeling and thinking, then it may sometimes also create that world of just feeling overwhelmed, feeling claustrophobic, because we're surrounded by other people's opinions of us. Never judge another. And I feel that one isn't really about you judging other people. I think it's about you judging yourself. So it goes again with that you glow and those around you love you. So allow that love to just come through you. Allow yourself to just feel just the beauty and the light and the sunshine and just all that you offer. And I'm going to do one more, which is a mantra for you. Okay. I am safe and secure in my world. I choose to believe everyone is always helpful. Therefore, wherever I go, people are there to help me. This feels, it's this reminder to us that we are never alone. And also, I'm feeling that Emily is letting you know that whenever you need help, all you need to do is just ask for her help. For she is just a thought away. And sometimes people ask me, well, how's this person going to help me if they're they're not here? And there have been many opportunities in which I've had, my partner, who is on the other side, help me with things, and he helps me through license plates. And so there are decisions sometimes I had to make, and I kid you not, I will look at a car, and there would be an answer to what I needed to hear or to know. And so believe that you can communicate with Emily. Believe that your bestie is with you always, and believe that connection hasn't died. It never dies. It is eternal and it's continual. And I think the other reason for the snake being here, besides the fangs and whatever, it's the eternity. So everything, nothing dies. Everything, it always flows and always has, it never ends. So I hope that this message, whoever it's for, finds you in good health and good spirits. Emily is telling me that she's going to stay for the next reading for this next person. but I just wanted to say thank you. So, okay, I'll be right back and I will start the next one. Hi, everyone. So, something interesting happened in the last segment when I was doing the video on Emily. I said I will be right back because there was another energy that was trying to come through. I did that reading, and when I went to do the editing, the video was unusable. So I wasn't able to use any of the footage. All of a sudden, you couldn't see the images clearly. Everything was out of focus. And so I just took a step back and I said, we're going to do this tomorrow morning. So that's why you see all the cards laid out here. And actually, as I come back to this space with a new energy, both energies are still here. I think it's for myself as the reader and the interpreter, I am coming in with a new energy. So I think that I will be able to provide more insights that I was having difficulty doing yesterday, just because if that reading had gone through, you would have seen that it was, this energy is a quiet person. And so it was really hard for me to have cards come out. And I think even with me, there was maybe a frustration, and not towards anyone, but for me, just feeling like I wasn't doing a good job. So I always feel like the universe works in mysterious ways, and it does so for the highest good of all. So I think doing it this way, coming back, setting out the cards, and just really taking my time and tapping in to the messages will do this energy a greater service than if you had seen the other video. So let's get started. So the first thing that I want to say is that the initials are the same. So if you recall in the first segment, there was the Emmy QT, which was attached to the first energy that came through, Emily. And then I said there was the QT, which belonged to another energy. However, as I am coming back into this reading, I also would like to add in the Y. So this first person's name may have started with a Y, a T, or a Q. Right now, I'm getting two names, Yvette and a Queenie, as a nickname. It may not be the same person, so this could be a third person that's just trying to jump in quickly to say hi. But these are the two names that I'm receiving. This person is connected to Emily on the other side. They are together. As I mentioned in the first segment, a lot of times what will happen is that a spirit will come in that may have a similar through line, and they may have similar characteristics that will then make it easy for me to fit multiple energies into one reading. While this person here has some similar through lines, such as the fact that they are adventurous, very loyal to their friends, and also seen as a shining star to their family members. They also have an extreme care of how others view them and wanting to always do the right thing. They are also very creative And they are someone who is very balanced and peace and likes and prefers peace. And they are also a person who believes in reaching for their goals and in reaching for the stars. There are other characteristics of this person that came out in the reading yesterday that I would like to share with you. So the first thing that I want to say is that based on the core reading here, this is someone who was born in the physical as a female, someone who is very grounded, passionate, someone who is, because the Empress embodies all of the queens. So someone who was a helper around the home and believed in keeping a stable home, keeping the family together. Someone who's grounded in emotions, very intelligent, and very creative, and had a fiery spark to them. Through the reading, I have also learned that this is a person of color. And so I do not know the exact ethnicity, but this was someone who was, as you can see the crowns, someone very proud, loved her body, and loved her heritage and loved her family deeply. Now, I am using the word her right now because, as I said, this energy was born as a female. When I started going in deeper, the male-female card came up because I was trying to ask, were you ever in a same-sex relationship? Were you, do you identify as a her, as a he, as a they? How do you want me to identify you? And what I kept getting, while I do not know if this was someone who was in a same-sex relationship, I kept getting male-female. So they wanted me to keep using the word they. So this was someone who was very comfortable, again, in their skin, in their body, but at the same time, they were also comfortable in their masculine energy as well. And you can see this through the juxtaposition of these 3 cards here. So you will hear me either say they, her, or him based off of the energy that is coming off at the time. So the next question I asked is, tell me more about you. And they let me know with the card of the baby, as well as the card for children, that they are, in the physical, they are a daughter to someone. When I pulled up the messages from heaven, it was another affirmation that this was a daughter energy who is trying to reach out to their mother. As we see here, remember me by the happy memories we created. And so if you are finding yourself to this channel and you have lost a daughter recently, then this message may be for you. But as I always say, please take what resonates, and then whatever doesn't, leave the rest behind. There may also be other messages in here that will be for other people. And just allow yourself to just open your heart and just take in what is for you. When I asked more questions about what were some of the happy memories that you both shared, the first card that came up is I love your cooking. And the image that came to me for that is the two of you sitting at a kitchen table that is right next to a window, and listening to music, and this energy waiting while you were cooking dinner. And in that space and in that time, there would be laughter, stories being shared about how each one's day went. But then there would also be stories about family. And that's where the exchange of history and the exchange of ancestral history happened. Those were the exchanges of having what I call tea talk, in which the two of you are sharing just that bond and that love between each other. I am sensing that there was very little that the two of you didn't share with each other. You two were very close. I am also getting another image of the two of you barefoot in the living room dancing to Marvin Gaye. And while Marvin Gaye wasn't in this person's generation and it was in yours, you wouldn't even know, because just looking at the two of you getting down in the living room, it was like two sisters who were just really just happy and enjoying life. And so I get and I feel when I am expressing these stories, the pain and the heartache that is coming from this loss. So, in understanding this person's life a little bit more, I know that this was someone who was very much into writing and into music. And I also am getting a feeling that the viewer, or whoever this reading is for, that they may be holding on to a journal that has poetry, that has writing, and that has quick song lyrics. So it's not like a whole song, but they're just quick bites of song lyrics. This was someone who pretty much gave their creativity and gave their all the emotions and the things that were going on in their life through song. And this person was also very sensitive. And the Freedom card came up because I feel it was just a confirmation of just letting me know how sometimes, as you saw when I pulled out this card, this need for fitting in. And when I say fitting in, I'm not saying that this was someone who was a follower, but it was someone who knew that they went at the beat of their own drum, and that there may have been family members who may not have understood them, and there may have been friends who may not have understood them either. And so sometimes, while they were very comfortable in being their authentic self, sometimes they didn't always feel free, because they wished others had seen them as the authentic self that they saw themselves. I hope that makes sense. So there was sometimes this feeling of not feeling 100% free. And so you would see that in the writing, and there would be pieces of writing that was to help inspire others. And just as the confirmation came up again, I received the scribe writer. And I also received the high priestess. And so this is someone who is very connected to their spirituality, connected to their authentic self, and connected to their intuition. And so with the sensitivity and the high priestess, I'm just seeing someone who was just such a sweet soul and just such a kind person. So even though, yes, like when I look at these cards at the core part of this person, sometimes they could look like they were strong is not the word that I want to use. Maybe it's like they were tough. Like right now I'm being pulled to a story for myself is when people used to see me, they used to think that because I always held my head up high. I stood straight, and the reason for me standing straight was because I had an extreme fear of getting a hunchback. Um, but that's having my head held up high and standing straight. I looked like someone that couldn't be approached, and so for many years, I had people who are my friends now who said you looked like someone that I couldn't really approach. Um, but once they got to know me, it was, you are so sensitive, you're so kind, you're so compassionate. And that's what I'm getting here with this card here with the King of Swords. Someone with the sword, right? It looks like, don't approach me. I have this sword. I can cut you. But it's just a prop. It's just a prop. And once you get to know that person, you then realize just how beautiful and how charismatic and how what a lovely soul that this person has. And so that is what the High Priestess card is calling for. And then when I started asking, what are the messages that you would like to share with your person? This energy wanted to share some really important messages with you. So the first message, and we have 4 angel messages. The first one is, I'm the angel of peace to bring you new tranquility and a smoother road ahead. So right now, I am feeling that there is a lot going on. Right now, a lot of changes, especially because of what's going on in the world, but there's changes going on in your life. And I feel like you're being set up for a bigger purpose. And when I asked, what is that bigger purpose? The card that I received was inspire others. Abundance is your right. And set your intentions. Now this is telling me, and the other message that I received, again, I was pulled back to the author. And meaning that this is you, the viewer, and then this is your person here. So what I am seeing is right after the passing of your daughter, you began taking the writings, the music, the poetry, and you started adding it with your own and about your experiences. And you started helping children, helping others who may be needing to find their authentic voice. You may have started a writing program, you may have started a camp, a educational program, a music program, whichever it is. You started it in the memory of your daughter to help you with expressing your grief, but to also help others to see their light, just as this person saw their light. And so you're being told that even though there may have been difficulties maybe in setting up this program, or there may have been difficulties in getting people maybe to sign up or getting funding for it, smoother road is coming ahead, so do not give up. The next card that came up is Archangel Michael. I am with you, giving you the courage to make life changes that will help you on your divine life purpose. So this card is, again, a confirmation to the first card for Shanti, which is letting you know that the changes that are coming into your life are setting you up for some big, big things. And from Isaiah, it's a good time to give birth to new ideas and situations. I'm watching over you, guiding you, and protecting you through these changes. So here's another card that is talking about changes and talking about how there's a lot of fear going on, I'm sure, right now. And there may be times in which you're tired and it's taking a lot out of you emotionally, even though there's a lot of joy that also comes from this. But the message is coming loud and clear. You got this, and you're going to be able to get through it. And this was just a final confirmation again that you have a gift for working with young people, and your divine purpose involves helping, teaching, or parenting children. So the work that you're doing with the music program, writing program, is going to help children, and this is your divine purpose. And your child is helping you along the way with that. They are with you every step of the way. When you feel that hand on your back, that is them. And when you're dancing, I feel sometimes you're still dancing. It may not be to Marvin Gaye right anymore, but when you're dancing, they're with you every step of the way. And so allow yourself to feel and allow yourself to open up your heart. And it was interesting because when I was thinking that, and I said, are there any more messages that you want to share? The first that came up is create space for new love and time for a love fest. So the two cards here, one is when a thing hurts your eyes, stop looking at it. When it hurts your ears, stop listening to it. And when it hurts your heart, stop justifying it. I love you so much. And this one is actually everyone is reasonable. They just have their own reasons. And usually it's worth trying to learn what they are to maximize chances for a full-blown 60s style psychedelic love fest, which is always a good thing. So these messages here are just the first one, in which a couple of moments ago, I was talking about how sometimes while the program that you're working on is helping you through your grief, there are times when you may feel that it's too much. There may be a child that reminds you of this beautiful soul that may really encourage you to open your heart, and sometimes it may be hard. Or you may, because of the grief and the pain, may be closing your heart to new love in your own life. So whatever the situation is, you're being asked to create that space for new love, whether it's for your projects, for new people coming in. This person isn't going anywhere. They're always going to be with you, and they're going to be with you, holding your hand in this lifetime. And then when the two of you come together and reunite, you two are going to have each other again. So in this space, in this physical world, they're asking you just to allow yourself to open your heart and to let joy in. And also, if there are any disagreements that you're having right now, and I'm sensing it could be with a family member, and I don't know why I'm feeling sister, but if there is a disagreement, try to see their perspective. We're all right based off of our own perspectives. And sometimes when we're able to take a step back and just look at someone else's perspective, or how we are reacting to the other person, sometimes we're able to let go and have a psychedelic love fest. I asked if there were, so in asking for more messages, especially with the two cards that I just showed, the next card that came out is We Are So Connected, and this is a remembrance, plus life is a series of choices, choose love. So I feel that these are, again, remembrances. These three go together. These are remembrances to allow yourself to choose love. And especially as you're moving into this new project and allowing yourself to be shown in a bigger and larger way, there's going to be a lot of fears that's going to come up. And a lot of fears is going to say, well, I don't have the money. How can I do this? No one's going to show up. Or am I doing the right thing? Do I have enough time? All of these things are going to come up. And usually when fear comes up, it's telling you that you're doing something that's on the right path, and it scares the hell out of you. And those are the moments when I tell fear, well, let's take one more step and see what happens. And then fear lets me do it, and it grumbles. And then I say, let's take one more step. And at some point, fear ends up, because fear just wants to protect you, because it has seen the past, and it's just like, I don't want to do this anymore. But fear at some point will then say, okay, this isn't that bad. I'm still alive. The world hasn't crumbled. We're good. And then fear will give way to let you create space, to create your universe. And so this is a reminder. Just take it at each choice at a time. And when fear comes up, choose it with love. Love for yourself, love for your family, love for your daughter. Choose love. And the final messages that I have are, it's okay to make mistakes. It means you're doing something, and you're one of the most thoughtful people I know. And I think sometimes we all need to hear this, because, and let me bring in the last card, I release all feelings of negativity and guilt. So these two actually go together. So sometimes, and just as you heard me talk about fear, as we're moving through those choices one step at a time, and as fear keeps saying, okay, we're moving too far, let's go back, we sometimes then can move into judgment. Am I doing this correctly? Is this worth it? Am I doing this right? Do I even have the qualifications? There's so many things that we come up with. Because I'm spending time doing this, am I not spending enough time with friends or family or loved ones, or on myself? And so I always say, when the guilt and the negativity comes up, just tell yourself that you're doing the best that you can in every single moment. If you feel like you're not giving enough time for yourself, then the next day, take that day off and give yourself the time and space that you need. If you feel like you are doing too much, again, take that time off. If you feel like you don't know what you're doing, just breathe and stop. And usually, confirmations will come to let you know that you are doing enough, or you're doing things correctly, and your brain can stop spinning and running. But just allow yourself to breathe and allow yourself to let go. You are doing the best that you can in every way possible. And this is your confirmation that you're also one of the most thoughtful people that they know. You give of yourself. You give of your light, just as the same light that they have, that they now have in the spiritual world. You are taking their light from the spiritual world, and you are now moving it and bringing it out into the 3D physical world, sharing that light with others, sharing that joy with others. And because of that, infinite abundance comes your way. So you're fully supported as you devote yourself to your divine life purpose. And your divine life purpose is to help children. Help children and to let them shine their light, so that then they can help others shine their light. And I always say infinite abundance comes in multiple ways. It comes in financial stability, and it also comes in joy, love, and having those around you who you can count on for support, and count on to just shine the light for you when you need it, and knowing that you are cradled and comforted. So it's this beautiful message from this beautiful soul telling their parent, thank you. Thank you for taking my work and my light, and thank you for shining it with others and sharing it with others. And so that others may then go off and do that work as well. And thank you for loving me. And now I'm asking you to share that love that you hold for me. Share that love and create space and share it with other people. And I promise you, when you do that, then you will reap so much love back in return. So much joy, so much light, so much abundance, because abundance is your right. And again, as I'm just being connected by the first energy from Emily, great gratitude. Having that abundance, having that joy, having yourself feel fulfilled, protected, supported. As you see, all these little birdies are surrounding her, just loving her and thankful that she is in their life and that they had the opportunity to know her in this life. This is you. This is the message that they want to give you, is the great gratitude, and that it is a pleasure, a honor, a blessing to know you in this lifetime. So continue doing the work that you're doing. Continue inspiring others. Continuing to shine the light for others. So I'm so glad that I was able to take a step back and do this reading again, because I feel the messaging was definitely more, there was more energy, and the visions came through in the way they needed to. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave me a comment. If anything came up for you that you have questions about, or if something else that I said came up that then was meant for someone else, please like it and share with them. And for everyone else who is listening, if your person didn't start with a Y or Q or a T, that's okay. There may have been, again, messages in here that, or images that were meant for you. Because again, in these opportunities when Spirit is able to get their messages out, they just say, okay, let's just put it out there, and it's going to find that message is going to find itself to the person that it needs to get to. So love always finds a way. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. I hope you all have a wonderful day today. And I love you all. And I will talk to you soon with the next reading. Have a good one. Bye.